All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Ben's Brick Designs. Happy Sunday. Happy daylight savings time. I hope everybody realizes that it's now 10 o'clock and not 9 o'clock. Check your clocks. If you have some that are not hooked up to a phone or a computer or have a chip of some kind, make sure you get those wall clocks and oven clocks and clocks in your cars and that kind of thing. I still have a clock. Good morning, Missy. Hello, how are you? Um, I still have a clock by my bedside table that is an analog. I mean, it's a digital clock, but it's not like a smart clock, right? It's just a clock radio. And I keep it because I can have it set to a radio station. And if I ever need an alarm again, which I might these few first days while the light is darker in the morning, I can set it to a classical radio station, which is nicer to wake up to. Still, everybody uses their phones and stuff anymore, so it really doesn't matter. Anyway, so we're going to get started on some design stuff today. I did want to show you a couple things before we get going too far into it. I hope you have a warm beverage. I got myself some English breakfast tea and honey. Beth and I have already gone to breakfast, and I already had a coffee, so I don't want another coffee right now. I'll save it till the afternoon. Let me know if audio and video look okay as we get started. If anything bottoms out, we'll try our best to keep things going, but we know how this technology goes. So a couple things I wanted to show you first. I did build the actual TIE bomber. I rebuilt it. If you remember, it was the huge version. It's probably like 3 times this size and 3 times as many pieces. It's actually twice as many pieces. This is now 103 pieces, and that's still kind of a lot. But because it's a lot of smaller pieces, this isn't actually that big of a model. It's very much right in line with how big microfighters are. And it's got the little asteroid. It's not a worm. What is it? Slug, the space slug, which actually has a name in Star Wars. It's got a little space slug there from the asteroid belt where they were bombing, looking for the Falcon in Empire Strikes Back. But yeah, it turned out pretty good. I had all the pieces for it ready to go. It's the same model as the TIE shuttle, which I already have. But I just, we got that built. So trying to get some more built for Brick Rodeo so I can have a full 100. I did notice that there were a couple pieces on here that I didn't put in on the build that I went back and put it on this design because it made it structurally, like putting it together without these bottom 2 plates was really weird. And I don't know why I left it like that. And I hadn't been able to pull the shuttle out to make sure that it has these pieces on it, because before I do instructions for it, I should probably add these. Otherwise, it's ridiculously complicated, which also means I don't know what this is for. This was initially to hold these 2 pieces together, but then nothing was holding like any of the side stuff on. It was just floating. So I don't know what I was thinking, but apparently it wasn't structurally important thoughts. So anyway, that's all done. I also updated Studio. I know there was some issues with some things not clicking together and some parts not available and some issues, and people have withheld updating Studio. But you notice that now it's got this brick up here for a view. It used to be if you hit your number keys on the number pad, it would give you different views. Now you can do the same thing with this cube. This brick up here, if you wanted to do, if you wanted to see just the top down without hitting the number keys, you could, and then you can move it with your right mouse. If you hold your right mouse button down, it'll move it whatever view you want. But then if you wanted that, you just click the front. You'd have to be able to see the part of the cube in order to get to that part of it. At that point, it's almost just as easy to hit the number pad. So I haven't found any other new stuff yet in the program, but so far everything works. I was playing with it yesterday, doing some stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and save that. And we'll save this guy and we'll close this out. Yeah, I've been holding off on updating it. I couldn't find anything specific. There was somebody in our Lug Discord that was like, oh, it's been reported, there's a bunch of problems. And then I went up to the forums and I couldn't find specifically the problem they were talking about. And this was about a month ago. So I was like, I think they might have got whatever it was fixed by now. And so far I haven't run into anything. Falling prey again to the, I just have to remember this when I start ordering parts, that the plates are showing up again as not available in that color when they actually are. So I just have to remember that. All right. The other thing I wanted to show you was that I'm getting to the point in the stadium design where I want to start working on the Jumbotron. So I've stuck this in here now. This is the size I want and the shape I want because I've already built the seating to fit it, right? And this is about the height I want it. I'm actually maybe okay making it a slightly higher, but there needs to be a gangplank, a catwalk up here that extends all the way out to the front. That's going to be really weird for the weight that's on here, so I'm not really sure how to do it. I'm worried that I've waited too long and this is going to be a problem getting this to work before July. But I've also figured out that this size is not really conducive to a monitor or a tablet to put in it. Like a portable monitor, you can get those really thin portable monitors. And that's probably what I'll end up doing, is putting one in here. But nothing comes in this shape. This is a really awkward shape. So what I was thinking is that I actually have it built. I built it out, and all these bricks are just stand-ins for what will eventually be these grill bricks, because it looks like this on the back. So I need 500 and some grill bricks, which isn't as much as like $20. So it's not as much as you'd think it would be, but it's still quite a bit. But I did have enough just regular bricks to try to build the shape out and see what it looks like. I also might try to figure out how to alternate them, because just giant stacks of bricks, it's fine to look at. And this structure seems to be okay. Like, it's not really going anywhere. My concern is that when I start poking holes in it for parts of the stand, it'll be less structurally sound. And you can kind of see like these kind of poke out a little bit on the edges. If you're not careful, you can just put your hand right through this because they're individually, like, they'll just bulge out on their own because it's just a stack of bricks. The only problem with alternating is that then you'll have a one brick on the side that'll look awkward. This is also going to be facing away from the crowd. And if there's monitors in front of it, it won't really matter. I could put anything back here. But what I found out is that I could do something like a small monitor. Wish I could just, like a 10-inch monitor right here, or a 13-inch monitor that's like 6 by whatever. And then on either side, if I can find some used phones, I could just have like images on used phones and put the phones in here. So I have like Austin FC over here and like Q2 Stadium over here. And even these, I can have different slideshows. So if I get a bunch of images, I can have these rotate slideshows and have them plug in from the bottom and have the cords run, I'll have all the cords basically run out the back here. So leave this open and have all the cords kind of come out and go through here. So like one monitor right in the middle and then 2 phones on the sides. They do this during the game, actually, where like the play-by-play or the video of the game is kind of in the middle, and on the sides they'll have like stats. So it won't look as weird as I think it will. But the problem is that when they do hype videos, it takes up the whole screen, and they can get away with that because it's their screen. They know what the what they can do with the media and stuff like that to make it fit that screen. As long as they kind of crop it from the bottom up and they can kind of keep something centered, it doesn't really matter. But I think this will work. Now, the problem is now buying these things. Unless I can find a used one, I'm going to put this out into the world, our Lego group. I'm not on Facebook anymore, so I can't really look on Facebook, but trying to find used stuff that still works, like used pixels or something like that. It's still like $100 a go for monitors and phones. So it's still a lot. And I'd rather spend that on Lego. So I'm going to see if I can find people who maybe have old versions that I can just use. They also have to last, like I'll be able to power this because I'm going to have this, and then I'm going to have light strips underneath the roof. So those will need to be powered too. So I'm going to have quite a few things that need a power strip, which will then need to be plugged in somewhere. I'm really hoping. I mean, I still have, what is it? First part of March, April, May, June, and then half of July, 4.5 months. This part, I just finished the seating area here. I just finished that seating area here. I'm going to need more 1x4 snot bricks to do this seating area. But I think other than that, I have all the bricks that I need for the seating areas. The shops are all done. And I think I have enough parts to finish out all the flat concourse areas in here. And maybe all the little gray parts in here. You guys can't see that. You guys haven't been able to see anything really. So like I've got a lot almost done. I also need to order a bunch of white 16x16 panels, and this will be kind of expensive. So I'm not looking forward to that. I'm really worried that making it like this and then putting the monitors in front of these, I have to figure out a way to make this portable because this is going across 3 different sections. So I haven't decided yet if I'm going to like attach, like split them up, which I might do, so that like, you know, the tablet section is on one seating section, the phone section's on this one, the other phone section's on this one. It really depends, because I still want them to be portable. The other problem I'm going to run into is even with the cool, these are plates and they don't sag kind of thing, the roof sags a little. It's just too much weight. And if I add a catwalk in here on top of that, that's going to make it heavier. So I'm going to try to maybe not attach the catwalk to the roof, even though it's going to look like it's attached, but I'll attach it to here and have it just stick straight out, right? So this doesn't really sit on anything above the shops here. It just sits right here. Let's see if I can show you photos of that. See if I got a photo of it. I think I took pictures of all the shops, and it's got a picture of the back of the screen. Unless I got rid of a lot of them. I thought I took some new ones. This is going back quite a ways. Yeah, it looks like I got rid of them. That's weird. I don't remember getting rid of them. Hawaii? Like, we weren't even going to the games at this point now. Weird. That is weird. I think I got rid of a lot of pictures. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to take some more pictures. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, see, I still have quite a few here. And these are other people's pictures? Oh, okay. Here's a little bit. So you can see this is the Jumbotron right here. It doesn't really, it sits on these frames. So there's still, right? It'll sit. In fact, I could probably make this go up a little bit. The frame is part of the screen, right? So they kind of built it around it. So I'm sure inside here there's whatever holding it up. Like I don't know what's inside this thing, but and this store has been repainted. So we'll have to see. I don't want to wait too long to get this figured out, but that's where I'm at with this. It's still coming along. I try to build on it a little every day, but I will need some more parts. I finished this whole section right here is 100% done. Roof and everything. Looks great. I think it'll travel well. I could even, if I wanted to, pull out the roof and have it travel by itself. It's just being kind of held up by these brackets down here, which is fine because it's heavy and it'll sit, right? It doesn't really need to like be very stable. Once it's in its spot, that's all it needs to do. These plates and under here and the seating section right here kind of hold it all up, but like all the framework kind of stuff on here, it looks really good. I'm very happy with it. So still moving along. And then, yeah, the lighting, there's the catwalk that goes under here right about, and then there's 2 strips of lighting. And I don't necessarily think I have to have 2 strips on each. I can do 1 strip and make it light up. So we'll see how that goes. But you can buy foot-long strips of LEDs, and they come in like 4 packs. So I'm like, well, that'll work. My concern is that you can't hook them up individually. So I just have to find something. But anyway, so that's what's going on. Today's project is another Microfighter, and it is going to be a Colonial Viper Mark II. So I'm cheating a little bit. This is from Battlestar Galactica. The Mark II is basically the Viper that's held over from. So if you haven't watched Battlestar Galactica, there's the classic show that was that aired in the late 70s, early 80s. It was only like 2 seasons, but made a huge impact on a lot of people. It was trying its best to capitalize on the Star Wars zeitgeist, right? They wanted to get expensive, showy science fiction out, space operas out to people in television format. So they came up with Battlestar Galactica. And a lot of the studio people from Star Wars, effects, sound effects, writing, whatever, filmmaking, went over to make Battlestar Galactica. So there's a lot of crossover. But it was a very expensive show. Even after reusing effects over and over again, they still needed to make new effects. And it was a very large cast. So the show basically ran out of money and they didn't renew it. They tried doing like a couple TV movies. They tried Battlestar 1985 or whatever it was, and that didn't take off. And then the reboot happened in 2004, I think it was, and it was just a huge hit. It's a very good show. If you haven't seen it, it's just one of the best shows ever. It fell prey to the writer's strike in 2007, something. And so it's like halfway through the 3rd season, it kind of gets a little weird. And then, or the 4th season. And so they kind of had to wrap it up in the 4th season, and it was kind of ugly. So it didn't end well. You could tell like the quality dropped off a little bit, but it was still very good. So the way they tied these 2 shows together, because there was no direct tie into the old show, but the Battlestar named Galactica was like a battleship. The one in the show, the new show, was basically an old battleship, right? That was turned into a museum, and they were using it and like the send off of this ship and its commander, Adama, to announce his retirement and to kind of turn this ship into a museum. It was all going to be a big ceremony. It was the end of the war. It was like all this kind of stuff. And so they had all these Vipers on there that were old Vipers. It was like finding F4s or something, right? Like old jet planes from Vietnam, Korea era, something like that. All this time, and this is during the miniseries that then kicked off the show. So they still have all this old stuff, right? Then they've had an armistice with the Cylons, which were a race of robots that humans built, but then fled the galaxy or the system to be their own thing. But then there was a war with them, and then they disappeared. So it's really cool because they left one lone station out in the middle of nowhere where they would send a human representative, and they're like, this is for our treaty or our armistice. We want, keep sending a Cylon to make sure that, we're okay not being at war. And the Cylons never sent anybody. So in the miniseries, they send one Cylon, and it's a blonde lady with two like robot Cylons behind her. And the Cylons have turned into look like people. And then they kick off this war and bomb the crap out of the colonies, and the colonies, all that's left are like 40,000 people, and they're on the run. So it's kind of the same show where they're all on the run. The colonies have been bombed, but they kind of drag the show into it. A lot of that is to say that the Cylons have a way of network jamming the new stuff. Their little eyes do this on the ships that fly, and the little eyes do that. And whatever ship they're in, they gain control of the network that all the fighters use. And they're useless now. So the only ships that aren't are this old Battlestar that doesn't have the same network, same computer stuff, and these old Vipers, these Mark IIs. So they still have some Mark VIIs, which are the newer ones. But they basically bring all these old fighters out of retirement, out of mothballs, and use them because the Cylons can't take them over. So it's a very iconic ship. It's been around forever. Brick Vault has made Lego models of it, and they're very good. You can probably get knockoff brick versions of this in places. There's lots of toys, lots of models. So this is it's a very standard, it looks like an X-Wing, but it's not really an X-Wing kind of ship, right? It's a very human looking ship versus the Colonial Cylons, which are not. So in the old one, they looked like this. And I learned how to draw these early when I was a kid. All we would do is we would draw like pages and pages of just fill one side with Vipers and one side with Cylons, and then you draw lasers across and have like an live action blow them up kind of thing. So we had to learn how to draw Cylons, and then these are the new Cylons. In the new show, these are piloted by like 3 Centurions, which looked like this. These are the old Centurions, and these are the new Centurions. These are living robots. These were living robots. These are also in the new show living robots. There's no pilots. It's all biologic in here, right? And if you don't plan on watching the show, I'm going to give you a little spoiler on something. So mute it for the next like minute or so. But there's a episode where Starbuck, Kara Thrace, played by Katie Sackhoff, shoots down a Cylon, but it kind of shoots her down, and they both crash on this planet. And her ship is toast. She can't do anything. She finds this Cylon and realizes that there's no pilot, right? And so she kind of goes up inside it and realizes that it's all organs and tendons and like biological material in there. And she's able to like figure out what tube allows her to breathe and what she can press on to make things fly. Sort of like somebody crawling inside a body and like figuring out what to pull on what muscles to make you walk and to make you do. It's really weird. So then they are able to capture the Cylon and do stuff with it. And it's very interesting. It was a good episode. But this is the human, you know, the good guy version, and it does very much look like a good guy ship. Yeah. So we'll get started on this. Colonial pilots. I'm gonna do so this is all gonna be new BSG. This is the old outfit. Here's another even old outfit. These weird, right? I'm gonna see if I can just find Kara Thrace, because I think I'm gonna make Kara Thrace the pilot. You could put Apollo in this, but I think I'm gonna do her. She was a better pilot, I think. So this is what their pilot outfits look like. I don't think I'm gonna find anything quite like this. That's a pretty good version. It's a toy, but we can work with this. So let's start with the minifigure, and I appreciate everybody's humoring me on that, the allowance given to talk about science fiction show for a little bit. So this is pretty much standard, like we probably input just flight suit and then just color it whatever we wanted to. That's got a badge on it. I don't want a badge. Torso pilot. A pilot that isn't Darth Vader or a rebel or a commercial airline pilot. Soldier. I know Lego doesn't make stuff like that, but yeah, we got like a British soldier here. So let's see. What's another thing? I'm gonna say pouches, because I feel like if it's got pouches, it's gonna look like I want it to. But again, there's a lot of cool stuff in here that looks like what I need, but it has a badge on it. I color these. And again, I have my filter off. My camera kind of sees it's kind of in the way of this. I'm gonna see if I can move this over. Nope. So you can kind of see. That's been covering that for a while, and I do apologize. I just realized that. So here's your drop down if you're looking for some studio tips and whatever. Oh, you know what? There was another mock slideshow. No, I don't want a mock slideshow. Art slideshow? No. Yeah, this is good. I thought about having like another window up here that had like what I'm designing. But I flip back and forth. It's fine. So here's your color drop down. If you turn this thing off, there's a filter in here. So here's your color palette. This is the current one selected. If you drop it down, you can color it whatever you want. If this filter is on, it'll only show you the available color for that part. So that's dark blue. If you don't color it the right color, it'll give you an exclamation point right next to it like this. If you want to if you're doing something like I am digitally and you just want it for the render, and it doesn't matter what it looks like because you're going to kit bash a figure or something, you can turn that restriction off by hitting this filter. You can do available colors in BrickLink within selected building palette. So you can restrict it down even farther, right? Let's say you're building flowers and you want to stick to a palette of 6 colors or something. Or you can turn it off completely. And then it'll allow you to color this anything you want. So if we wanted to do this like the Battlestar Galactica person, which is olive green or whatever, right? You can color it now whatever you want it. Same with these guys. These are all olive green now. Pouches isn't really helping much either. I don't like it. This one's the best one so far. Torso straps. trying to think of like descriptive things that'll bring up what I want. Oh, that's pretty good. I like that one. That one's actually really good. That one's also pretty good. That one's also very good. It's got a little collar on it. Oh, you know what? I think that's it. I think that's the one we want. All these are going to look great in green. Straps was the way to go. Yeah, that's good. I like that. That's a good one. And then her arms are going to be turn to main model. This is all like this. So I'm going to release it so I can color these different things. I think they wear gloves while they pilot, but I'm going to turn these to light nougat for now. And now we need a head, I think a smirk. Can we get a lady with a smirk that doesn't have blotches? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. This is like Ventress or Spider Lady. That's very childlike. Don't quite like that. There it is. Yeah, I like that. And then she's got a small shag of hair. Not quite that. Kind of a bowl cut almost. Not quite. No, it's too big. Hair is always like the hardest part with these. Kind of. Let's see if there's anything just a little shorter. Although that might be where we go. And her hair gets longer as the show goes on, but like when it starts, like here's much later, there's much later. I also love this look with they always had like a tank top and then like a different style tank top over it as like their underneath flight suits. I always like that look. I think we'll just go with that for now. And then legs. What's up, Brian? How are you? Thanks for coming by. Hope your daylight savings day is going well. Where was there? I don't think I'm going to get anything quite this good. Jeans are fine. No. These straps are pretty good. Except when I do this, it's going to be... I can't recolor the straps. I don't think I'm going to find anything with olive green straps, so I may just have to kind of go with something. That's actually pretty good. Let's do that. All right. They had service weapons, but they didn't really carry them. Like there wasn't a big part of their character, so I don't know if I'd include it with her or not. They also had helmets that were pretty standard helmets. So I might like have her wearing a helmet instead of the hair. It doesn't need to be printed. Find it faster this way. It kind of looks like these. Like they kind of have that motorcycle helmet look, and I think I'm going to stick with that. So do that olive green as well. And then a visor. And the visors are generally clear because they're, how come that doesn't fit? Is there a different visor for that helmet? Find compatible bricks. Huh. It seems like it would work. Headgear, helmet, dirt bike. I feel like there's a different... I think it's probably these goggles. Which I don't like as much. But again, I'm just kit bashing. It really doesn't matter. Also, if I group it, I should be able to turn the collision back on. Nope. Okay. So that's with her hair. That's with the helmet. I like it. I think the suits changed over time too. Like they got a little darker. So she can, I'll just include that with, I have to turn collision back on for while I'm building the set. But we can set that aside. All right, so let's get her arms up. Why is this? I don't want to rotate the hand. So there's a danger in just releasing a, like if you just get a pre-printed torso and you release it to get all the parts. Sometimes it doesn't think that part's attached. So if you ever try to rotate something and it tries to rotate it on a funky axis, I usually try to remove the part, drag it off, let go of it, put it back on so it can make that connection again. So it can see that when you go to hinge key it so it rotates, it knows what to connect to rotate. And oftentimes when I'm building stuff out and there's a hinged part of it, and then I'm adding a bunch of stuff onto that hinged part, and you go back and forth and try new things, and it's too long or it's too short, you try different whatevers, and the whole time the hinge is sitting there going, well, what am I connected to? And very often you'll go to move it, and it'll partially try to move, but then it's connected to other stuff and it won't let it move. So you have to kind of like reconnect it, like drag all the stuff off it and re-put it back on there. So it senses that connection to all the pieces so that it can move. There's also a key you can use when you're shifting through or you change your select. It'll say by connected. You can click on a giant group of things and see what's connected to it so that you know if you need to move it, it'll all move or it won't. So that's a good little measure of thumb. So like here, return to main model. These were pre-made legs, so it wasn't hips and legs. So we have to release them in order to be able to bend them. And in this case, it worked out fine. Actually, I like it with the helmet on instead, without the hair. So I'm gonna leave the hair to the side and leave her over here. So the Viper itself, I think we've lost the Viper picture. Is pretty standard design. It's just long with some stubby wings, and it's got some angled wings on the back. And a stabilizing, and I forget, it's a tail fin, but there's a term for it. It has an intake up here. And I think probably, sensor package and countermeasures are up here. Hey, Dusty, how's it going? Welcome in. I think it has missiles, but I'm not really sure where they are. It has these blasters here, and it has like a cooling area for the blasters, like heat sinks. It might have a different like undercarriage for. There was an image that had like it pointed at stuff. Yeah, all the Dratus, they call it Dratus. Okay, so it can carry missiles. They're just not internal like proton torpedoes or something. So it seems like they're more analog warheads. Dorsal stabilizer. Okay. So here's your intakes, right? So it's pretty standard ship shape kind of, you know. It looks like many sci-fi ships. And honestly, it has enough of a throwback to like 50s rocket design where it's like kind of conical with some wings off the side of it. It's very recognizable. P.S. You need to allow redirects for my main account so I can raid you next time. Do I not allow redirects? Is that something I can look at? Let's look. Probably in privacy. Turn off super chat and super sticker celebrations. Oh, I didn't know I was able to do that. Playback, connected apps, advanced setting. What is it? YouTube allow redirects. Community. Click on settings. And then community. I don't have a community. YouTube Studio. And then settings. Community. Oh. Live redirects. Then community, and under live redirects. And then under live redirects. Settings. Community moderation. Comments on new video posted. Message in your live chat. Moderation none. Post in your community. Viewer posts. Like I feel like it changed. It's not community moderation. Click on settings, which I did. Huh. I'll have to investigate that because I think this is different from what the search assist is getting. Allow others to redirect to your live stream. Settings community. From the permissions setting. Redirect to your Premiere viewers. That can be permission settings in channel settings. Huh. Yeah, it looks like it's in 3 or 4 different spots, but I can't really. I don't want to screw anything up while I'm live streaming, so. Yeah, I'll look at it later. But if you find some information, let me know. Okay, so first things first, I don't recognize, there's no parts in here that are like instantly recognizable Lego parts for me. I'm not convinced I wouldn't brick build these wings versus using plates and tiles. The only reason I would brick build them is because there's a stripe that's very recognizable. That might be easier to do brick built than it would with wedges, wedge plates, but you can always do stuff with tiles and things. So I'm keeping that in mind. This nose cone is very iconic, but I don't know that there's a specific Lego piece that'll do that. That's like a rounded, open-ended, you know, something up here kind of thing. Offhand, that's at that size. That's like a 2x2 size, maybe. Also, it's going to be very difficult to, but not impossible. This microfighter of this is going to suffer the same as an X-Wing. The microfighter X-Wing is very stubby, and its wings are actually wider than it is long in the microfighter, which makes it look weird because other than the end blaster tips on the wings, the fuselage is actually very long. So I want to make sure that we don't trim this up too much so it looks too stubby. So I'm trying to look at anything that might indicate a good piece to start with so we can determine if this will be built basic plate up or kind of brick, like bricks turned on its side. So I'm looking and thinking about, like, I can already kind of come up with some like wing shapes and stuff, but that really, so here's the Mark VII. So once the Mark II is done, it wouldn't be too much to convert it to a Mark VII. It's got the basic same tri-wing look with the cockpit about middle, air intakes, triple thrusters on the back, long fuselage, but it does have some distinctions. So I'll probably make 2 of these, which will mean maybe this will have, you know, one of them will be Starbuck and one of them will be Apollo. If I get that far. This one's more iconic and more recognizable. The average viewer, or the average person looking at it would look at this and go, oh, I think I know what that's from. An average person looking at this might say, is that Babylon 5? Is that, at, you know, Stargate? Like, what is that? They may not know. I mean, the thrusters are going to be pretty easy. Except I don't want to make them too big. We can use these would be great for the back thrusters, but again, these are massive for a microfighter, maybe too big. But the engines are very big. So, you know, we can do this and just have 3 of these in dark bluish gray. And the spacing is such, I don't want to get too hung up on it, but the spacing is such that the there's more room in between, so you'd have to kind of do this, and that might be too big for the model, but I don't know. I mean, I guess we could start there and just see how this rolls off from here. Those might be the parts that I was thinking of. So she'll be, I'm going to group all this together. She'll probably be sitting right about here. Like about that, ideally. because there's not much to the undersides of these things. There's a little, it's probably like, in most fighters like this, the undersides usually have like tool bays or survival kits. Stuff that if you crashed belly down, it wouldn't really, it doesn't have like fuel lines or sensor packages or something like that. That can be really ruined. But let's see. So then these would have those half. I don't think these come in white. So there's the other question. This is going to be all white. They do come in white. Oh, wait a minute. Let me turn the filter back on so I'm not shooting myself in the foot. Okay, they do come in white. So we can do this. And I think for the intake, I'm not going to worry about it looking like it's an intake, but there's a half circle tile. If I could spell circle right. Or semicircle. Tile round. Yeah. Do this in black. And there's your intake. And then the wing technically comes off of this. So we'll have to figure out how to build that. And I think I might brick build them. So if we were to brick build a wing, let's just try one of them. Just see what it looks like, how we feel about it. It's a pretty good overhead shot. They are kind of a funky shape. So they do connect right about here, right? On the side here. So I might make an artistic, oh, you know what? We're missing here. Let's do one more. I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to do a round plate. So I can't tell if I want this to be dark red or red. I feel like white and red is where we need to go. But in camera, it looks dark red. But it, like in some cases, it just looks red. So I think I'm going to do red. So we'll do a red plate here. And then maybe another white and that. And if we want, I can use these plates to be attachment points for the rest of the wing. I don't know how yet, but we'll figure it out. All right, so I want a wing, but I don't want it too big. That's a good look at that. That's a really good look. So we wanted to do it like this. So a couple slopes. We'll do a white slope. And then a red slope. And then let's move this up a little bit. Do a longer slope. There's 1x4s. It might be too big. Yeah, I don't want that's getting a little big. So why don't we stick to just a plate. And this plate can go for a long time. Okay, so see if there's any new news. Lego wise. Anything coming up? I will say if anybody has suggestions on video games, I've finished Control. Ahead of Control, Armageddon, Requiem, whatever it is, the sequel that's coming out. Had a lot of fun, and I want another game kind of like that. If anybody knows any games that are like Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Death Stranding, Control, third-person adventure, open world, maybe a little spooky, learning tech tree kind of games, I'd be very interested. I'm not a big first-person shooter. It kind of makes me dizzy after a while. I'm not opposed to RPGs, JRPGs kind of thing, like Expedition 33, Clair Obscur was good. So any game suggestions, I'd take those. Let's see. So, looking at Lego news, there's a new Batmobile. The new Batmobile. Oh, that's getting a review. That new Val Kilmer Batmobile. $30. That's not too bad. Lego's announced they're doing a launch dedicated page for Lego mini builds. So stuff that you see at the stores, the make and takes, I think are getting instructions. F1 helmets are coming out. F1 is starting up here. I think, or no, there's a new F1 race. I don't think it's here. But I know that after the soccer game last night, the bar was staying open because they were doing F1. So it may have been somewhere else. To where 11 p.m. was not a bad time to do it. Not a lot since we last did a stream. The giant fig space guy is out. Soccer ball is out. The Zelda big Zelda set is out. The Pokemon stuff's coming out. I think people are starting to show videos of them building that. That's kind of it by the looks of it. Nothing really major. Oh, it was fine, Vince. Other than the fact that we lost the game, that the game was lost by Austin FC. It's always fun to hang out with your friends. All my friends are at McCalla, kind of thing, right? Do we want these on the inside? Yeah, let's do my favorite piece. So the watch party itself's fun. It's just that, you know, they didn't win. I want to kind of give it a little extra on this. Technic pin. Oh, you know what's a good... Nope. That seems like it's a rare piece. Dark gray. That's not too bad. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so that's the shape of the wing front. Again, just trying to make it simple. Slope inverted. Do an inverted slope and then color it red. Nope. which way does that go? There's a way to make stripes. And I think it has to do with snot bricks. That's not really a stripe. That's just... Well, if one was red, everything else was white. Mm-hmm. Thinking out loud to myself very quietly. Was it me specifically was on a post? Let me go look. I don't have Instagram, so, but I do have an Instagram account that I can use. Because I can kind of sign on with Brick Rodeo because my password still is good. So this was it Los Verdes? Pin. That was... Or was it La Murga? Or is it Austin FC? La Murga de Austin. Pin. Nope. Old. That's the last game. Austin FC. I don't think they're going to show a watch party at Hop Squad. Or was it Hop Squad? Nope. Oh, Josh. Fun. All right, so this stripe is proving to be difficult. Move that up. All right, well, I'm not loving this yet, but... So I wanted to do... I'm sure there's a better way to do this, and I'll have to play with this a little bit, but if I wanted to do a... Let's do a plate version instead. I would do probably this, and then that's not too bad. This all has to be white. And then a stripe. So let's move this guy off of here for now. You can go with him. I will keep this guy for here. And let's see if we put him next to this out there. Raise it up a little bit. I wish they made little triangle tiles. It's about as close as we're gonna get. Don't like that. And the actual triangle tiles are too big. That's not too bad. I'm okay with that. Sort of. <clears throat> 16 parts. I was a little worried that this was going to become cumbersome, but so before I get too far in, one of these is going to have to be a there's a new plate that's going to save my world a lot of trouble. And it's this one, because I can make this rounded back here still. And then use the lower part for a, they call it a light fixture or a light attachment. And I think it's from like days when you would use these on cars to put little like trans-colored red and orange and yellow bricks on here to be like headlights and signal light and brake lights and stuff. Or they stuck out of the front of houses and you could use them for like street lights. I don't know why they're called light attachments, but I've heard of them also called fishing reels, because they kind of look like fishing reels. I like that. But you're only saving like one syllable between light attachment, fishing reel. The only problem is I can't angle this down. So So how do I do that? I do want to angle it down. If I did a round plate bar, I got one of these, that can be angled down. A little bit. But then got to figure out how to attach onto this. Which would be fun if we were doing a brick built one and then you kind of reverse brick build it. I wonder how that would work. Let's play with that a little bit. So this, you know, these wings are good. Or, oh, I just had an idea. So if you do this, and I think these come in white, and I know they do because I just bought a bunch of them. Rotate down. I don't know what angle these get. These are rotated. Like, I can't really tell. There was kind of a more head-on view. There we go. And here we go with our, so a little more than that. Let's say 30 degrees. That seems good. So remember, 30 degrees. And then brick building would be a little easier because then you can get a 1x2 axle brick. You can get these guys. I think it'll go all the way, yeah. Or no, actually I want a 1x1. Yeah, this is better, I think. I haven't built it this way yet, so let's see what works here. And that actually could be, can that come in red? It can. Brilliant. And then inverted slope. In white. And then a brick. Do white. And then regular slope. This is where I wish I could get stickers or something made. So I can get a stripe put across like a couple bricks here. Because then you can do brick and then a brick with a clip. And then a bar 2L. Maybe just 2 red bricks there. That's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. Could even make this red, so that's a little thicker. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's simple. I can attach this. It doesn't get in the way of itself. It's a good size. Let's work with this for a little bit. So we're gonna copy and mirror. And before I get too ahead of myself, I want to make sure that all this can attach to itself. I have a feeling I'm locking myself into a brick built up sideways, brick built sideways kind of model, and that's fine. There's a handful of models that I have that are like that. I'm wondering, does this come in red? It does. So what I might do, let's see how this works. That won't fit. Okay, how do I attach those 3 things together? Probably have to figure out, I probably have to line this up, because that's a good kind of representation of the thruster layout, which I feel is a little important to the model. It's a little bit of part of its iconic nature is how the thrusters look. And that's part of my crutch as a microfighter designer, a mock designer, is not just saying like, oh, an X-Wing has 4 engines, so just throw 4 engines on it. But I might be able to squeeze these in. So if I did, let's get Kara out of the way real quick. This looks like it's almost 5 wide, but if I did, oh, that's such good spacing though. I want to keep it. Well, music stopped because it doesn't understand how much music is in here. I don't even know if these will hold together. How far apart those are. Let's throw a plate in here and find out what our... So what's everybody's plans for the rest of the day? Here in Austin, it is crappy out. So I have a feeling a lot of our plans are going to revolve around staying inside and dry. It's gloomy on top of it being daylight savings time. Let's do a plate 3. And then jumper. There may be a better way to do this, but I'm gonna, ooh. Hot diggity. This also has technically an intake on it behind the cockpit. I'm also going to have to remember that I have to put a fin on top of this. And there's no like other attachments for it. It just has to be a fin. And again, that stripe going through, it's going to be a problem. Yeah, I think I might go to the sword as well. I'm trying to talk Beth into going, but she might just want to sleep all day. Again, we're just having rough nights sleeping, so. This doesn't come in red, does it? It does. Oh man, that is slick. So these can be white. That could almost be. Then I could put this guy right here. Oh, actually, it needs to have a bunch of stuff in front of it. Come on. Maybe I can move her forward just a little. All right, how many parts are we at right now? 39. Minus her. Yeah, time change on a cloudy morning is like the worst because Beth and I will wake up at 7:30 on Sundays and go have breakfast. And so we've been doing that for a couple months now, and we don't have a lot of time to ourselves because our schedules are kind of phase shift where like I'll go to work at 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then she works until she gets home at 8:30, 9 o'clock. So by the time she gets home, I've been home by myself for 4 or 5 hours, or I'll work from home and don't see her. And then she works Saturday, but she doesn't work Monday, right? So we're just slightly off. But it does impact how often we see each other. So we're like, Sunday morning, we're going to go to breakfast together. So we've been doing that for a couple months. And it's really nice. It's, kind of a treat. We just pick one of 3 or 4 restaurants around us and just go, for a nice breakfast. Oh, I just realized something. Let's put this guy here. And this guy, I think, can fit over that. Look at that. Would you look at that? Oh man, if I could figure out a way to cover up that middle part there. Golden. I'm so happy with how this is turning out. Yeah, it's been really nice. So we finally figured out that there's a Kirby Lane kind of by us. 8 minutes away, something like that. We've been going to places that are really close. So now we've got First Watch, a new place that opened up like really close to us. Home Kitchen. It's by the Pixel Palace. It's really yummy. They've got some really great French toast options. Stuffed French toast. First Watch, Cafe Java, Home Kitchen, and Kirby Lane. So we added Kirby Lane today, and it was lovely. I brought that up for some reason. Oh, the time change. So normally we wake up at and I wake up at 7:15 anyway. The light wakes me up, the dogs wake me up, and I'm awake. My brain goes, hey, it's time to wake up. But today, because the hour change, and I never really had a problem with the time changes per se. Like, it messed me up for the first time I woke up, but I got used to it pretty quick. The problem was it was I kind of accidentally woke up at about 6:30 according to the new time. I was like, it's pitch black outside. And I looked at my clock. I'm like, 6:30. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to take care of the dogs. And at 7 o'clock, I poked Beth and I'm like, hey, do we want to go to breakfast? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, well, it's 7 o'clock. She's like, what? Yep. Get yourself ready. All right, so I'm gonna throw. Oh, it's got like exposed engine parts. So let's throw in. I wish there's a one, because I could do this to fill in this gap. You can still see through that gap. I don't know what I'm going to do about that yet. But you can only do that on one side. There's not like one rail. So now I'm looking for one by one mod plate that I can kind of stick something in here that won't get in the way. That's going to get in the way. I can already tell. That clips. That clips. That may be good. That actually isn't too bad. Come in white. Oh, that looks real good. And I'm going to have to change this to, so this will have to be a 1x3 mod tile. Nope, not that one. 1x3 jumper. Yeah, Kirby Lane was nice. They had a nice, their specials today, which I got was a French toast, but it was a poppy seed French toast with a lemon glaze. Oh, so good. And then it was you get 2 pieces, or you get like 3 or 4 pieces of that, or you can get the Texas Paris French. It was called the Paris French toast, or you can get the Texas Paris French toast and get fewer. I'm gonna color this that color in case anyone sees it. I'm also color that one that color. Do a bracket that comes with migas on top of it. Nope, doesn't work. Not on top of it, just with it. Let's do another 3 plate. It was very good. Didn't finish it all. And then Beth ordered like the Kirby Benedict or whatever, which is like eggs Benedict, but instead of like ham as the meat under the egg, it's a piece of fried chicken. And then the hollandaise sauce is like a creamy hatch chili sauce. So it was, she didn't eat all of it, but I brought it home. And we'll see if eggs heat up at all. Oh, that's so good. I'm enjoying this so much. Viper Mark II. What's up, Lego Master? How are you? Thanks for coming in. Happy Time Change Sunday if you celebrate. These come in white, right? Oh, you know what I need to do? This needs to be a 2-sided one. Brick modified. If I can get the 2-sided, that's not the 4-sided. Oh, I can't. Oh, yeah. Can this be white? Yes. Because there's going to be a little undercarriage bit under here. It's just a little bump, but I might do like a plate. I might just do like a tile, but if I did a 2x4 plate, or maybe a like that, and then I can do a slope, even like that, and then do a slope, curve slope. Hey, thank you. I'm doing well, thank you. Can't complain. It's all Lego all day. Probably working on my Q2 Stadium a little bit. Made a Microfighter, designing some Microfighters. At 1 o'clock, we're gonna go meet up with our lug to do some part sorting for Brick Rodeo. You know, can't complain really. This might be too much, but we'll see. Actually, yeah, let's do a 3 plate instead of a, that's just a lot. Plate. When will I do a giveaway? I don't know. Do I need to do a giveaway? I don't have anything to give away. I've built everything. I don't have a backlog. Let's do a tile. I haven't done a giveaway for a while. I did one for hitting 1,000 subscribers. And most of the people who won ended up donating it to like the children's hospital, because we had our fundraiser, or we had our Christmas party, and we're all donating stuff. At the Christmas party, we had a big box, and if you brought a set, we'd donate it to the Children's Museum. So, oh, I don't want to forget that I've got a tail fin to attach here. So we all had to chip in for that. I can make this come out one more, and I think not interfere with her. I don't have half a round plate. Can I please give you a gift? I don't have a gift to give, man. Sorry to ruin your day, but I don't really have anything. Oh, that worked really well because that's open. Okay, maybe I'll just leave that. Yeah, I'll just leave that. We gotta figure out another way to attach a fin up here then. And this is slightly poking out, so maybe I can do another. Yeah, that's good. And maybe I'll do another thing like the... So if I brick built it like the wings... What is my age, Lego man? I'm old. I'll say that. I'm old. Oh, I need something probably roughly just the same shape as this. Old enough to know better. Young enough not to care. Oh, you're 11. Okay. Well, welcome to the channel. I'll try not to swear much while you're here. How am I going to attach this? This is so cool, but I don't have a way to attach this. This can go away. Oh no, I kind of need that. No, I don't. I'll put the round plate in here. Do these come in red? Yes. Nope, I am not a recognized fan media account that just reviews sets and, you know, runs giveaways and tries to get people to sign up for my channel and stuff. I just try to do my own thing. I absolutely appreciating you being here and hanging out, but I generally don't do that. Oh, that bumps into that. The tolerance was really low on this then. That doesn't make sense. That should be in there. I hate when parts get rotated. All right, let's try this. Let's try attaching it out here. And then putting it back in here. You know why I want a gift? My guess is because it's fun to get gifts. Oh, because this tile? That can't be right. That is such a low tolerance. That sticks out that far. I forget I'm working at such a small... Yeah, that's weird, man. And there's no half round plate. That's so wild that that one plate won't fit in there. Which means I got to do it out here. I'm going to turn the ground off. I can't work like this. Can't work in these conditions. Okay. And I have an idea. Oh, your birthday's on the 4th of April. Well, I will wish you happy birthday. You still got a month to go. I hope you get many Lego sets. I don't know you well enough to give you a gift, but I will wish you happy birthday. There's this part that I don't think is going to be helpful. Or maybe not. What color can it be? I think it can be white. Or red. Red. And if I angle it, I can attach something to it. How fun. What other bar plates do we have? Do we have a... We've got these 2x2 that do the same thing. And this can be a clip. Brick with clip. Because I think this can be red. No. What are you doing? I just wanted to click U so I could type in 0. Okay, that's too much. But I like the idea. I was kind of hoping for something. I need, I've always needed this. A 1x2 plate with a bar sticking straight out. That's it. That's all I want. There's a car plate. There's this, but this is like an axle. And it doesn't come in any color that I need anyway. Okay. So these are just, you attach wheels, and I don't think there's anything that can attach that anyway. But something like that, which is a 1x2 plate with a bar sticking out. I don't know why they don't do that. They've got all this other nonsense. too wide. That'll stick up too far. Okay, I like this. I'm gonna figure out a better way to attach it. Okay. So, how about this? Okay, needs a little bit more room. Let's throw in a plate. If you get that random plate with a bar before I get a standard snot bricks in trans clear. Yeah. What do we have? We have headlight bricks in trans clear. But that's it. I know some off-brand sets have snot bricks in trans clear, which is kind of disappointing. What are you bumping into here, man? Oh, really? I love this. The rest of this is like, nah, man, there's junk in the way. And this back one's like, nope, I'm good. All right, so that won't work. It's too close. But now I'm thinking plate bar. Where'd it go? That guy. Can he be red? He can be red. He can be blue. He can be violet sky. Is that far enough up? Negative Ghost Rider. It is far enough up. So let's switch the plate. Let's move this. How far back can we move this? Does this only allow us to go? All right, it's got a giant hole in it, but that's not bad looking. It's the right shape. Let's stick with that for now. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these other wings because I really like this. And I know how to rebuild those later. Uh-oh. What the heck? Okay. Now we're going to do the nose cone. And how much time we got? We got 15 minutes. Can I do it in 15 minutes? Okay, well, first things first, we got to get... I'm going to do... this might get in the way. How would I do that? I don't think that's possible. I was sorry. Speaking of a headlight or washing machine bricks, it'd be really cool because this is inset a little bit. Oh, I could do those bricks. So there's this like access port thing along the side here. That lets you access like the sensor package and stuff up here, and probably like the ammo and the fuel stuff and some flight computer access right here. Everything else has a panel. You can open up the engines and stuff. It'd be cool if we could display that, because this is slightly inset. I don't want it to be can we do this is gonna have to come up a little bit. Round brick? I need a oblong brick. I don't need a totally round brick. Because this isn't just a round, this isn't a perfectly round fuselage. It's slightly conical, but it's like the way Lego doesn't have like round quarter plates. They've got like these sort of rounded corner plates. That's that shape, which is I'm not going to be able to recreate. Also, there's a stripe on the top. Gonna have to figure that out. Oh, I am not going to get 1.5K subs in 10 to 20 days. But I appreciate your enthusiasm. I'm going to do this black. I'm going to do this dark gray. What did I move? And I can do another one of these cones. The problem is then, because it's offset, I can't put anything on top of that. Like I can't put another brick because that's offset, which limits that. So if I just did a snot brick. Oh, so what I was thinking of is if there was a way to, and I don't think there is, put another one on top like that. That would be pretty cool. How much of that is overlap? If I did 3, like a tile, 1x3 tile. I'm just playing at this point. This is really not anything with the, that's slightly inset and it would look cool. Do that in dark gray. But then I'd have it inverted, which would be fine. Like I could figure out how to invert something else. Do you have room for 3 stud? Yeah. Sort of. This is 2 stud wide right now. It's 3 stud from here back. So this is, whoops. This is 3 stud and this is all 2 stud because I have a jumper in here that I flipped it. Which also makes me worry that I don't want to get too bulky up here because I don't want the whole thing necessarily only working with 2 studs, you know? Anyway, so yeah, this was cool, but I think I'm going to go with a just a regular 1x mod brick. And this will have to be in white to match everything else. And the good thing about these tiles is you can kind of slide them around a little bit so they can kind of be where they need to be. And also having it be kind of flat on the bottom is a good trade-off for it being not quite rounded. Like if I wanted to, I could replace these with just 1x2x2 like this. And put a couple more of these behind it. But then I'd have to make sure to attach them up here. And then I could do 1x or 2x2 round. I'm gonna run into not knowing what to do with the front here. We have to find a red sticker. Or Figure out something along here. Uh, 1x2 stud. It's a new-ish part. I don't know which one of these is the newer part. Probably that one. Put it closest to him. And then a tile. Where's my tiles? Where are my tiles? There we go. Tile modified? Oh, because I have that selected. Tile. Don't think 1x4 is too big. 1x3. Cool. 65 parts, man. I think we're doing really good. I need something for this little weird intake here. I almost feel like I could do this piece up front somehow in black. Get a... There was a jumper back here that I was using. Nope, other way. 315. There we go. Let's just look at cones just to make sure I'm not missing out on something. Slide these back a little bit. Not quite the look I have in mind. It almost looks like it's got a little mustache. Yeah. Even the little droid heads have studs open on top. Oh, you mean like fully open? Like all the way in? These are rad pieces. I wish it was bigger. The ship was a little bigger. It's fezzes. I was kind of hoping for some inspiration about like an open cone. Yeah, open stud, but not like open all the way through it. Also, why did I get rid of this? I don't know. It's not too bad right now. This tail is so funny. I mean, it works, but it's hilarious. Actually, they do have guns. I remember Hilo and Boomer had... I forget what their guns looked like, so let's do like this. I think they were kind of like this. And I'm sure this comes in... Oh, black? Yeah, that's fine. So that's probably a better one. Let's do that. Okay. Actually, cut Open up. Nope. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. This shape is just an odd shape for Lego. I'm pretty sure if somebody were rebuilding this in Lego at minifig scale, because it's open and it's slightly angled, right? So I don't know if like a slope would go better in there. I don't think so. It'd almost be better to have like this. And then plate. Let's do a rounded plate. Not brick round, plate round. Haha. And of course it doesn't come in red. Something like that, where it's got like an opening, but I wish I could like just paint a little stripe right around here. I'll have to kind of think about it, but it's noon. This is mostly done. I'll probably play with it over the weekend or early next week and then save it and start getting parts for it. I feel like I have a lot of these, except for these half cylinders. I have a lot of these in gray, but almost none of them in white, if any. The rest of these are pretty basic parts. Yeah, this nose cone is going to give me fits. If there was like a rounded open kind of panel thing like that, that might work. It's not too bad. So, but I appreciate you guys hanging out. I hope you have a good day and you recover from your daylight savings time. Again, keep an eye out for, this is the size of the Jumbotron for the field. I'm going to look for a couple panels and old phones to fit in here. And I got to, leave holes in the bottom for the cabling. And I may have to redo the structure of it and attach the structure to each section of the stands. Because otherwise it's just a big thing that sits there and I don't want it to be that dodgy. But I'll figure it out. But this will be about how big the Jumbotron is. So it'll be fun to figure out if anybody has leads on like old 13 inch diagonal portable monitors, the really thin kinds, or old phones that are like Pixel 6 Pro size, because that's the perfect fit for this. Let me know. Get me on Discord. I'm going to be searching for used stuff or asking around if people have got some stuff. Resellers and things like that. So I hope you all have a good rest of the day. Bevan, Missy, I guess I'll see you. I don't know about Brian if you're going to come too, but I'll see you guys at the sort in about an hour. And I hope the rest of you have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.